Welcome to Math with Huang. Today we're going to look at a process called complete the square. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to take the standard form, y equal ax squared plus bx plus c, and we want to change it to the vertex form, y equal a bracket x minus p squared plus q. This allows us to go from a standard form into the vertex form, which allows us to figure out the vertex of the quadratic relationship. Now, there are two different types of questions. I call them type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is when the a value is equal to 1, and you start off with x squared. Here are going to be three quick steps which allows you to figure out the vertex or into vertex form rather easily. The first step, because the answer is going to have a bracket square plus, q. So we want to create this bracket. So step one, group the first two terms inside the bracket. So this first two terms, we're going to group it inside bracket. Okay, and we want to leave the plus 3 on the outside because that's going to form our new q. So the first step, we bracket off the first two terms, and you're going to get y equal bracket x squared minus 10x bracket plus 3. And that's it. That's your first step. Simple and fast. Now, here's the key step of the process, the second step. Now you're going to take the middle number, whatever is in the middle here, the one that's beside the x or the next term. And you see the middle number and you see a negative 10. You're going to take that number and you're going to divide by 2. So negative 10 divided by 2, it's going to be negative 5. And then you're going to square that number. So negative 5 squared is going to be 25. Now, what do you do with that? Well, you're going to write it out. So the second step, you're going to have y equals the bracket x squared minus 10x, and you leave a blank, and you put the plus 3. You see how we got 25 here. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. The square, we get 25. So what you're going to do is you're going to add 25, and then you're going to subtract 25. So you're basically adding 0. You're not changing the question. This is a key process of completing the square. Take the middle number, negative 10 in this case, divided by 2, you get negative 5. Square it, you get 25. So you do plus 25 minus 25. Okay, now we're ready to do the third step. The third step, what you're going to do is you're now completing the perfect square. You're going to group off the first three terms here, x squared minus 10x plus 25. And that's going to factor into a perfect square. That's going to be x minus 5 squared, because x minus 5, if you expand it, you're going to get x squared minus 10x plus 25. So the first three terms turn into a perfect square. And then you need to take this last number, the minus 25, out of the bracket, and that's going to form the new q value along with the plus 3 on the outside. So here, you're going to have minus 25 plus 3, which you get minus 22. And there you go. You get your vertex form. So three simple steps. Group off the first two terms because you want to create a bracket. You're going to take the middle number, divide it by 2, and square it. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Square, you get 25 minus 25. Group off the first three terms into a perfect square. Take the fourth term outside of the bracket and form your new q value. Now, what if you have an a value that's not equal to 1? We call that type 2. Well, it's going to be similar steps, but there is something that we need to change. So for example, the first step, we're going to group off the first two terms still because we want to create a p square and then a q on the outside. But we need to factor out the a value. The a value is whatever in front of the x squared. So in this case, it's a negative 2. So what I need to do in this particular question is I need to factor out the -2 from the bracket. So when I factor out the -2, I'm going to left with x squared, and -12x divided by -2 is going to be plus 6x. Okay, so you see we modify the first step a little bit because there's an a value that's not equal to 1, which means we have to take it outside the bracket, make it stay in front of the bracket. So we factor out the -2. Now the second step, it's the same. We're going to keep the middle number, which is the plus 6 here. We're going to divide it by 2, and then we're going to square it. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is going to be 9. So we're going to say equal -2, bracket, bracket. We're going to have the plus 1 on the outside. We're going to fill in whatever we had before up here. And then we're going to say, okay, that's 3 squared, which is 9. So I need to add a 9, and I need to subtract the 9. Okay, now we're going to group off the first 3 terms into a perfect square. X squared plus 6x plus 9. Well, that's x plus 3 squared. You're still going to have the -2 on the outside. And here is the most common mistake in this question. When people take out the -9, you have to make sure you multiply. You have to make sure you multiply by the a value. You see how the a value is multiplied by this bracket. So when you take out the -9, you have to make sure you multiply by the a value. So instead of bring out the 9, you actually brought out positive 18. Right? -9 has to be multiplied by the a value when you come out of the bracket. That's an 18. So now we can finish our question off. It's going to equal to -2 x plus 3 squared plus 19. Okay. So 3 steps still, but it's modified a little bit. The first step, not only do you just group off the first 2 terms, you need to take out the a value. You need to factor out the a value. Second step's the same. We take the middle number, divided by 2 and square. Then you have the plus 9 and the minus 9. The third step, we're going to group up the first 3 terms into a perfect square. We need to take this 4th term out. But make sure when you take this out, you always have to multiply by the a value. That will create your new cube. So this is complete the square, which allows you to go from a standard form to a vertex form. Thank you for watching.